La 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 la. The Conjuring 3 review.
The devil made me do it.
The devil made him do it.
Hello, everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will. That's Win. And as always, we're back with another episode of Streaming Junkies for y'all. And today, we've got a little, I guess it's kind of a caveat of it's on HBO Max, but we got Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. It's just The Conjuring, but because it's like a universe, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a franchise. This time there's no
cool.
James Wan.
I'll say it's pretty cool. What did he produce, or was he even
Nope.
story by? He wrote for it.
At least.
Yeah, so at least he was attached. I feel like this and Insidious are like his babies.
Yeah. Or Annabelle.
And Saw. Like, dude's just a master of horror, so I'm glad he was attached.
He has a sick mind.
He's just a smart mind.
He is Asian, so.
But, yeah, that means you have a sick mind.
Yep.
You're Asian.
Yep.
Fair. So, plot? I don't know. The Warrens are up to it again. Another case.
What case was it this time?
This
is called.
What is the family name? We'll just call it that.
It's not. It's the
Glatzel.
The Glatzel, yeah.
Yeah, the Glatzel case.
But it was a different guy. The other guy.
But then it's like, oh no, dude had some balls, just being like, take me.
I don't think he understood what he was doing though.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he did. But yeah, it's essentially non-spoiler plot. It's very just another case for Conjuring. Like nothing, I'd say, out of the ordinary for it.
Yeah.
Even though they did kind of tease it like the most deadly case they ever have. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, this was the most. Let me see. I bet it says it on the poster. The demonic case that shocked America.
I don't know. I haven't heard of this before.
Yeah, I know.
I've watched a bunch of like kind of horror stories, like including some of the the Warren stuff.
Yeah.
But never have I heard of like that one.
I'm gonna look it up.
The case that shocked America. Yeah, the plot of the movie is this time it's kind of more detective.
Yeah, it felt more like a mystery movie.
Yeah,
than a horror movie, which honestly I kind of liked.
I liked it.
It was this one is very different than all the other Conjuring movies. I think like even the scares feel different, and but yeah, it's plot summary. They solve a case. That's it. Okay, moving on.
Pretty much.
Just but it's, I guess in real life it was known as the Devil Made Me Do It case.
That's dumb.
Is the first known court case in the United States in which defense sought to prove innocence based upon defendant's claim of demonic possession.
I see. Okay, that's why it shocked America.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because the defense said it was a demon.
Yeah, they said
the demon made me do it. Okay, the devil. Sorry.
Yeah, so they didn't really acknowledge it though. I guess the verdict was he just had psychological state of mind.
They didn't want to put that in the movie.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. Well, yeah, well, it's like they didn't give the verdict. I'm like, oh shit, did they give him the freaking electric chair? I was like, did he not win? That would have sucked.
No, he served 5 years. Yeah.
Well, like at the end, they just, when the judge gets the slip or whatever, it just cuts and then it says it. But I was like, oh man, for a second I was like, oh man, is he gonna die? That'd be crazy. But what are your thoughts on this one? Let's review this bad boy.
Honestly, I never really liked the whole Conjuring movies and like some of the horror stuff, like that universe basically. I see them as like as a cheap blockbuster style narrative, a somewhat more or less an escape or whatever beliefs people have. So much like the Marvel and DC movies and stuff like that.
So that's I think this one did the best out of all of them, kind of making it feel like a universe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that much, to be fair, but the little moments I was like, hey, I've seen Conjuring 1. I know where she got like the locket or whatever. But yeah, continue.
I will say, I'm gonna judge it as that. It's just a big spectacle
Yes.
movie. So I will say this one. I'm surprised that you said it earlier, but this one is definitely the best out of all three.
I think it's like it's a really well made movie.
Yeah,
like
it's well directed.
Yeah, like the scares like aren't cheap, and they're not necessarily like scary, but like visually they're pretty. There's one. I think it's like one of the first scares in the movie. Well, it's not the first. Before, so I guess spoilers, but he gets like possessed at the dog kennel.
Yeah.
There's the flashing red light, and there's the thing on the floor, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was really good.
I was like, that's just the imagery of that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I was, and just how the demon looked too, like everything. It was just well made, especially for a horror movie.
I like that they did the whole like surprise at the end where it's like, oh, it's this lady who's doing it, and they're all attached in this case, and like this person is being controlled by the witch lady or whatever. I really like the way they attach the stories where they were seeing like bad things, but they were like the normal people,
and it didn't feel like kind of. I feel like horror movies that try and do that, it typically feels like a stretch.
Yeah.
Like this one, so spoiler alert for just the movie itself. It's the whole thing is like a satanic follower, and she is performing a ritual, and she has to kill like 3 people, and they're like, it was like a holy person, a lover, and someone innocent. Yeah. And that was supposed to be realize like purity, love, and just like closeness to God, I believe. And she has to do all that, but she like, I don't know where I was going with that. Holy shit. What were we talking about?
You lost your train of thought?
I have.
You were talking about spoiler alert.
Well, she, in the end, like, she gets like Patrick Warren as like the clergy person. I was still trying to line that, like, I guess but that was weird because were they the love?
No, the love was the kid who transferred the demon to him.
Yeah, but also
no, he was innocent.
That's weird because like, are the girls that they killed? Is that the romance, or is it the other ones? Because that's innocence. Because I feel like a lot of them were interchangeable, and I think they were supposed to be. Yeah. Because like they reference like the Warrens' love for each other. I'm like, okay, so is that the love, and the kid's the innocence?
I know what you mean.
But I'm like, which one's the closeness to God?
Yeah.
So
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
I think
that does get convoluted just a little bit.
I don't.
Or maybe there was like 4, but like you could just choose 3.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Well, okay, so never mind. So the priest could have been the clergy guy. Yeah. And then it's like, we're just killing the kill, and she just needs souls for her ritual or whatever. So,
I guess I think the love is the Warrens. The
clergy is her dad. Which is the big twist? That's where I was going with it. It's like there's a twist of like, oh, it's the satanic person's dad, and normally like in horror movies that feels like, oh, yeah, he was just kind of there. Okay, cool. But like this, like it felt instrumental. It felt like it played its part, and then like everything ran its course. So I think it was done well.
I might need to watch it again. Honestly,
that's such a small part of the story too. Yeah, and I definitely want to go. So
small but big part.
Yeah, it's who gets killed, I guess. So it is kind of big, but
it's like why the witch is doing it basically, or the need for the witch to do it.
And
honestly, when I was watching it, I was wondering like, there's no big spectacle this time. There's no like big. There's no Annabelle style or anything like that.
There's no like Annabelle. There's no like whatever the nun's name was in Conjuring 2, like Valis something or something.
Val, I think.
Yeah, it's like Val something.
Yeah, it's everything. The spectacle related to these movies basically has just been removed. Yeah, like anything that's like that was like, if you can remember in Annabelle Comes Home, you saw the demon or the devil or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This time they didn't even do that. They just kind of showed the reflection of the witch, and
that's
it
the
killed
thing.
her.
So that's one thing. I felt like it was also so based in reality to where it felt more like a mystery. Like when he saw her in the window when he was cutting the tree, was like she actually there? Because like it was all close together, and like she totally could have just been in that house watching the kid.
That's true.
And I was like, so that made it feel more real, and so like I commend it for that. So
I liked I like the fact that like they did the two-way window thing where it's like Lorraine Warren is like looking at the witch, and they're like looking at each other, and she's like, how are you doing this? I'm like, that's strange. I've never seen that before.
There was one shot that I was almost kind of let down by. It was when the kid's cutting down the tree. Arnie, he's like tied to the tree, and he's gonna cut it down. They were like zooming in to the window. I'm like, ooh, how are they gonna do a cool shot? Like transferring through the window, but they didn't do it. They just cut, and I was like, oh well. But for some reason I was let down by that. But
I thought that was gonna be like a ghost or something, like a witch, but no, it's a real person.
It's just like
a person from
it's a person, and it's all goes together. So honestly, I saw a couple people say this, and I agree wholeheartedly. This could have had 30 more minutes, and I think it would have been better.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
This is like one of those movies that they probably I don't know if they shortened it. I feel like they got everything they wanted to, but like there could have definitely been some wiggle room and added some more stuff. Like one thing I wanted to see is like they referenced the room where they had all the Warrens have all their stuff locked up. I'm like, oh, it's like let's have the Annabelle type situation. Like let's see some people, some things in there, and like what's going on.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like let's see some other like ghosts that are down there or something. And I was like, that'd be so cool, because like they even they made the reference of the priest, the witch's dad, has all the stuff locked up, and he's like, I just thought it was best we lock it up. And it's like, and they kind of like look at each other and they're like, okay, we get it.
I'd love to see more of the courtroom stuff. I would have loved to see the lawyer like combing through the room that they had in there, like you were talking about.
Oh
yeah, because like they just immediately like let us
she was like,
show you our room. And like what did you do, like release Annabelle and like haunt her or some shit? Like we'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess there could have been more stuff. I think some of the stuff, like the cuts, like there was a lot of cuts. Like it was just hard to cut to black.
Yeah.
But like that one, I thought that was actually kind of funny. And it's like it pays off to know the universe, and I feel like a lot of that was this, like her locket, like that's her daughter. Lorraine's daughter gives that to her in the first movie, and like it's important somewhat to the universe. Like that was an important thing in the first movie, and it's like, oh, it saves her husband, like it saves Ed. That's cute. Or like the thing about the room, this one just like, so like Annabelle and almost all the Annabelles except I'd say Comes Home feels like, okay, yeah, it's Annabelle, but okay, then let's just throw the Warrens in there to like make it feel like, oh yeah, it's connected. And like the Nun's really bad about that, and then the Curse of La Llorona, like that could have just not been a Conjuring movie.
Haven't finished it, and it shouldn't have been.
But I get it. I think it's cool.
It's the same director as Conjuring 3.
And it's funny too, because I'd still love them to kind of lean off of the based on a true story stuff. Like I remember whenever this was first getting like written, maybe is like werewolves were the rumor. I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. Some like, or like vampires or something. Like at this point, like you can do as many real cases you want, but like it's not like it's eventually gonna feel repetitive, and like this one did it a little different, so it didn't feel that repetitive, but it still kind of was.
Honestly, watching all of them though, I've been watching most of them like all throughout this week, just to prepare for this one. Watching all of them, it's kind of felt a little repetitive that they keep mentioning the Warrens in each movie, and I'm like, you don't really need to do that. I think everyone already knows that it's a part of the universe, and it's pretty easy to imply that it is, because then they could just show whatever object it is, and the Warren's locker or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
They could just have the Annabelle doll. And
Yeah.
like, cause you like fans will know like, oh yeah, okay, we know the room. Like,
Yeah.
so that's one thing though. Continuity error. Well, but also I was like, not really. The little spinny box from the first Conjuring wasn't where it was in when they reshot it. So
you're worried about that? In La Llorona, they showed a video of the farmer, but then they switched it out in the Warrens, like when they were talking about it in the college. Yeah. I remember watching that. It's like, is this the same guy? No way, this is the same guy. And then they were talking about the farmer when it could have been just a dad that's like the somewhat of the farmer, because they mentioned that he was a farmer. But honestly, the fact that this movie didn't have as many jump scares kind of made it better.
It did, because I'd say that's my biggest like pro for this. It was like the scares were not your typical like conventional jump scares, and I was like, good. Like I like that, like it's like Hereditary. That was not your conventional stuff. And I would say this was still conventional, but it wasn't like just jump scare. Oh, just jump scare. Yeah. There's some really intense like scenes and stuff. So
I like I like when a movie doesn't rely on jump scares. I like the kind of mystery, horrific aspect of it more than anything. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't have to be like right in your face, but it could just be like, let's say like Midsummer. Mm-hmm. One of the scariest shit that I saw in that was like when they fucking like fleshed out the guy and he was hanging on the ceiling. Like I thought that was really scary, and they didn't even do a jump scare on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he was still breathing.
Like the what's the one? The Visit. There's this one shot in that movie that like haunts me to this day. Is they just open the door, like, and the grandparents aren't letting them out, but there's just a hanging person. I'm like, oh, just the imagery, like it gets to you. And I think this one did a really good job with just imagery, because it's not really jump scare. Like anything that was scary, it was just because it was loud. At least in the theater, it was. Yeah. But otherwise, it was. So like I feel like we've been sucking this movie's dick, but because it is honestly probably the best. It's the best
one, honestly. Like a movie, throughout.
It's definitely not. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the second one, because out of all of them, I think the Conjuring movies, like the base ones, are the best ones. Because like Annabelle's, they feel kind of. I don't know. The first Annabelle is pretty good.
Wait, hold on. Which one was the second one?
I think it's like
kind of coincide each other.
Annabelle, Creation, and then Comes Home. And Conjuring is the demon. We saw that one. Yeah. Conjuring 2 is the nun. There's like a bunch of characters in that. There's the Crooked Man. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, British. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I remember.
The Crooked Man's supposed to get a movie. I don't know if that's still in development. I was like, I kind of want to write something for that. That'd be cool.
The second one used to be my favorite, The Conjuring. Out of all of these,
I think that one's. It follows some of the like typical like jump scare stuff, but they're pretty good jump scares in that.
Yeah.
They do a good blend, but this and then this one. But I think the base Conjuring movies are like the best ones. I think they're some of the best like non like psychedelic or like your Midsummer type movies, like horror movies we have out there. Because otherwise, it's either they lean too much on the cheap side or they lean too much. Like this has production value.
Yeah, it was I will say it was a whole lot better. It's as basic as the previous films with the whole witchcraft and all that. But it was really the mystery that got me.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. Like coming into it, when I was about to watch it, I was like, okay, another Conjuring movie, probably demons I'm expecting, and some jump scares. Mm-hmm. But then we came into this and like, well, the guy just got the demon transferred. Where's that coming from? Because I don't think we've kind of seen that, but not in that way where it's
it's like
curse.
Yeah, like the curse, like, and that's the thing too. They could do. Oh, now the next one's gonna be a hex because a curse is different, right, or something.
Yeah.
But I think they could go. I really hope they make more. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
I mean, if James Wan keeps writing these, I'm guessing they could.
And like the last one would just be called The Final Conjuring, and like or something, or the
What did it to him or something.
that's one thing too. This reference, the one obvious one. Did you see the like Exorcist reference at like the very beginning? It's the priest. He pulls up to the house and he looks up in the window, and it's like straight up the Exorcist poster.
No, man.
I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
I forgot to watch The Exorcist. I've watched
That,
almost all of it. I'm still in the middle of La Llorona. I think I finished La Llorona.
Well, that's the one thing though. I was like, oh, what if they just like started throwing in like The Exorcist? I think it'd be cool because technically, I guess The Exorcist is based on a true story too, but
you know, I just remember this.
This. So like, yeah, that literally looks like the priest whenever he.
Huh.
And I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
I know. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. That's straight up an Exorcist reference. That's awesome. And the universe stuff of it too. So like, those are massive pros for me. Some cons. Let me think. Because honestly, it's not like there's anything blaring like stand out. I'm gonna like, unless you've got some, because I know you nitpicky over here.
Honestly, I think the only thing that I had issues with this movie was kind of the pacing.
I can see
it wasn't even like extremely bad, but it was just like somehow it's offbeat. I don't remember what
some
part.
Of them. Like I think for me, I agree, is like the dad, the priest dad.
Yeah,
his scenes felt kind of like okay. It felt like a different tone completely.
It slowed down the movie more.
And the one scene with them was just laying the groundwork, like the first scene with them, and then the second one wasn't as bad because we knew, but still.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember because I watched this. I didn't watch it like as carefully as I thought I should. I just completely thought like, yeah, this is way better than the previous ones compared to the others. This is kind of, I guess, up there for. It's weird because it's a sequel.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
And it's like that's not usually very normal, is it? Another thing, they could have cut out a few other things in there. I think one that I can remember is not the dog kennel, but the girlfriend, the guy's girlfriend. I remember his name, Andy. Arnie.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Yeah, like.
That didn't feel very necessary. I understand Debbie was her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't feel necessarily like worth it. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we got a cute like, oh, I love you at the end before they go to. But otherwise, yeah, I agree.
And it's still kind of weak, the motivation that the Warrens had, like they're trying to help this guy and all that, and it's like, that's kind of not really. This shouldn't be that important to them. I mean. But then again, you know, there's like a third person, but the other person's already killed someone, and but whatever, yeah. I still don't understand how Patrick Wilson was about to kill his. Oh wait, no, it was the flower, wasn't it? And the satanic symbol in it, in the flowers. I don't know if you remember that. Oh,
like how he got like possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that scene. More memorable scenes. That's about it. A lot of the parts were really forgettable.
Kind of lulling and just kind of meh. Yeah, I agree. But overall, it's a pretty damn good movie. I was surprised.
Yeah.
The quality of it. Like I was kind of just expecting like a scary movie. Yeah, well made because the other ones happen. Yeah. Even The Nun. I'll say it's not a good movie and it's pretty bad horror movie wise too, but it looks good. It looks pretty. And
I like the castle aspect of that and the whole nun.
Yeah, exactly. Like the idea of it's there. But God, that movie sucked.
I'm very familiar with the whole like ghostly nuns and stuff like that, demonic like possessions, because like in the Philippines it's pretty normal, and like when you go to an old church, you'll basically see a nun everywhere. And they're not even real and stuff like that. So when I saw The Nun, I was like, yeah, this seems pretty interesting, I guess. There's like the nun there and, you know, like there's ghostly stuff. But that movie sucks.
Yeah.
But
it's so unfortunate too.
Yeah. It was very confusing as well. It got to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, that nun died. but like I wasn't paying attention that much. So that nun died, but
Where's the...
she shows up again, and then no one questions it, and then the guy, whatever, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
it was Frenchie. That's his name. He wasn't.
Where
there.
is it? There's one post. Yeah, it's this one. I thought that poster for the nun was just so cool.
Yeah,
like the white with the. And I wanted to get it, but they never gave it to me at the theater. But also, I was looking at the thing, the facts on here right now. When they say like, "Oh, we got flowers from whatever," Lorraine says that.
Yeah.
The parents, that's the family from the first one. Like that's what I mean. Like there's your connections. Like it feels more like a universe now, which
family? Oh, I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, that's awesome. I love it. I'm trying to look at it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they said they wanted to make... James Wan said that he wanted to get out of the haunted house feeling. So, like, they wanted to be... And so they did.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, every time we watch these movies, it's always been in a house or a castle.
It's, like, there. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not do, like a business park or a building?
Yeah.
Just do something like that. Honestly, if I was watching this movie... not in a normal sense where I was expecting more jump scares and like a plot. I would have seen that the father priest guy thing, like the him, like it's his daughter. I would have seen that coming like from a mile away, but at the same time, like I think I just didn't know what to expect this time. I was just kind of like,
yeah,
wow.
I just went in. I was expecting a Conjuring movie, and that's what I got. And like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, I think they're both great. Yeah. I think they do this well. And I would like to think they enjoy making these. They're literally in so many, and even like her sister's the girl in the nun. So I feel like they enjoy it for the most part. And maybe James Wan just keeps pulling them in. Yeah. Because, I mean, Patrick Wilson's in the Insidious movies. And
I didn't know that. I'm still not finished with... Oh, yeah, he's the dad. This time... in this movie, I like the fact that it was a person doing it, not just a demon, just out of nowhere. Where there's like, this place has an attachment, or that thing has an attachment, or this people, or this demon has attached to your whole family, and now you guys are gonna die. It feels a lot more visceral when you have like a real person. Like, they
it feels more like, oh yeah, well, and also. So they always do like a real thing playing in the credits, but the like audio they played of like the real tape was like, oh man, I did not like that just in the theater. After watching the movie, I'm like, oh god, okay. I'm gonna
have to analyze this movie one more time. I just saw it once.
I definitely think we should go see it in theaters, like with all the guys and stuff, like so you can see it in theaters.
I would love to see it in theaters.
It's good. It's good, especially the forest scene when she
when she was like transferring back and forth. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
they didn't just like jump into it this time. They just kind of like they had a transformation and a transition, and then they actually did kind of go back and forth. But like in the previous movies, it was like
or the morgue scene. I thought that was the big fat guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, really? Like a big fat guy. And then like when it played out, I was like, okay, that was actually pretty scary and intense. So
also it was very offbeat for what the Warrens would do.
Yeah.
So like I was that's very cool.
Straight up broke it.
Yeah.
Which also like I don't know if it's offbeat. I could definitely see them doing that. They seem pretty free spirited. I would assume they are.
Yeah, I know, but they always have like this like moral judgment to them. You know, not just like we'll do this, but I thought this was really, honestly, a lot of people didn't like this movie. I saw the reviews on it. They were like, not up to my expectations or whatever. But they still gave it a 7.
Well, yeah. So let's give our ratings for it. So critically, I'll say I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I almost want to say 8, but I feel like I've said other movies that are like 8s that aren't like even that are way above this. But like I think this was a really good movie. I think it's done really well. So a 7.5 for me for my critical review.
I want to say about 4 or 5, but I need to rewatch it.
That's fair.
But that's
I wouldn't
like
expect anything less from you.
But I did enjoy it much more than the previous ones. The previous ones were just so easy to tell when the jump scares were coming. Like I remember seeing a review on there where it's like, well, there's really no tension or suspense or like, you know, you already know where the jump scares are. But like the thing is, like, you expect that from The Conjuring. You know when they're coming. This time, it was just the story was just far different. It was just so much better in every aspect. It was well directed. So, honestly, enjoyment rating, I give this like a 7 or 8.
Yeah, enjoyment, I'll say it's like an 8.5.
Yeah,
it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and that was a good thing. So
yeah,
and I definitely want to see it again. I definitely want to see it in IMAX.
I definitely want to see this movie. I definitely want to see the 4th one with this director.
Yeah,
again.
I think I mean, as long as James Wan's attached, like they can put whoever directing it, and it'll be fine. But Conjuring, like Devil Made Me Do It, it's pretty good. Highly recommend if you're a fan of just the horror genre. It's definitely one of the better, like, typical, like, mainstream horror movies that have been out in a while. So, because when did Conjuring 2 come out?
2019.
Conjuring 2?
Yeah, I think so. Or no?
No,
18.
that's like Nun came out like
17 or 18, something like that.
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, it's been 5 years since we've
Oh,
had...
it was Annabelle that I was thinking about.
Yeah, Comes Home came out like 2019. I remember
they had, like,
see that.
R.I.P. Lorraine, I think.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
But you know what? They were probably insane.
Yeah, I'd love to have met them. I think if we met them, like, you could, like, either just see right through their bullshit, or it'd be like, okay, you believe this, but okay.
Now I kind of want to, like, have an interview with them, sit down one by one, like.
Well, when we die, we'll talk to them.
And, like, I just want to, like, goose around a little bit and just be like, hey, I have this, like, just make something up, like, listen, there's this ghost that's been following me for, like, the past 8 years or some shit like that since I've been back to the Philippines. Like, what can you tell me about them? Because, like, oh yeah, also this movie had her totally straight have powers. She totally had powers. Yeah. She was like,
normally it's like, I have a sense. This is like, I'm attached. Like, we've got a connection.
She didn't do that thing where she's like, she would touch something. She was like, because, like, I think we've seen that so much.
It reminded me
just
of
knew it.
What's it called? Like it's called like warging and like fantasy stuff where, like, people can go into, like, animals and stuff.
Yeah,
it reminded me a lot of that.
No, I also like some of the comedic beat that they had where she was like, they were giving her, like, the 3 knives and then the cops in the background.
And then, like, the guys are bedding. Yeah, that was great.
I thought that was really good.
I thought there was a lot of good, like, side pieces, and it didn't, like, take away from the movie. So, yeah, this movie's good.
And it's in HBO Max.
Highly recommend.
What else could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm not surprised that's doing well, I guess, at the theaters. Because, like, it's got a pretty big following. They keep making these for a reason.
And it's not even counting, like, that's the theaters. It's not even counting the people watching it on streaming. Yeah. So it might be double in streaming, like, those two. So they might have, like, overthrown Quiet Place Part 2.
It wasn't on, like, HBO Max.
Yeah,
probably. I wouldn't be surprised, which is also, like, something because, like, it's rated R. So
yeah,
but also we are, like, easing out of the pandemic, so, like, more people will go and see. Like, my theater was, I wouldn't say full, but it was like half COVID capacity.
Was it like Quiet Place when we went?
It wasn't that full.
Okay.
It was a smaller theater, but there was plenty of people in it. So.
Would you say this was better than A Quiet Place? I would say this was better.
Yes,
than A
absolutely.
Quiet Place. And this is Conjuring. Like a couple of years ago, I'd have been like, Quiet Place is way better than this.
Yeah.
But no,
I think Quiet Place has a great idea, but I think this, and I even said in our Quiet Place video, go check it out on the channel, but, like, it's a well-made movie, but I also think this was a really well-made movie, and it just flowed better, and it knew what it was and did it. So, but yeah, let's wrap this up. Go check it out, honestly. I was surprised.
Watch it with your family, watch it with your girlfriend, watch it with your boyfriend.
Watch it with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a 3-year-old, make them watch it too.
Well, you can't take a 3-year-old to 21.
But it's on HBO Max.
It's true. So go watch it. That's why this is Streaming Junkies. So thank y'all for watching. Thank you for watching another episode of Streaming Junkies from the Continuity Crew. I'm Will. That's when. Make sure you like if you enjoyed. Comment down below. What's your favorite Conjuring universe movie? All of them. What's your favorite?
Top 3 would have to be this one, Annabelle Comes Home, And then
I'm gonna say 2. That and then Conjuring 2. What?
And really?
Yeah, I really like Conjuring 2. I need to rewatch it, but what I have in my head of it.
I like Conjuring 2 because I've seen the footage that they didn't put it in the movie, but I've seen the footage where the girl like does the voice and stuff like that. So I've seen that, but at the same time, it was very all predictable. Yeah, I guess it was just probably because like I'm familiar with that story.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think that I love about horror is that it is predictable, and I can kind of just go and like. It's fair. Just easy digestible content. But
surprisingly, this one was up there. And then Annabelle comes home, and then maybe.
The first Annabelle is good too.
I like the first Annabelle, I like the tie-in in the second Annabelle that they did for the first Annabelle. Yeah. That was really interesting. I didn't even think of that. Like, I guess I should have seen it coming since it's Conjuring movies, but like since I'm watching them like without having to be like without having to think like in between them because I was just kind of going pacing through them. Yeah, so I didn't even think of that about the attachment between those two, but that was pretty cool, I guess.
So
the girl didn't look like the older girl though that killed the other people. That was like really stupid, but at the same time it was like
it's a horror franchise.
I like where it picked it up. I like the ending where it's like shing and then like whatever.
Yeah. So subscribe if you enjoy more. We've got a Spirit Untamed review coming out later this week, so make sure you subscribe for that.
Also, like in the movie, like what are the odds that the girl finds Annabelle, or not finds Annabelle, but like there was never mind. Oh yeah, it's her parents, and then Annabelle's just right next door. What are the odds of that?
It's a demon that can do whatever it's want.
I guess so.
But thank y'all for watching. We love movies. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.